This is One on One. We are pleased to welcome back my good friend Frank Longobardi, who is a CPA, but the other recognition for him is that he's the Chief Executive Officer of a firm called CohnReznick, which is, where is it in the top?
We are number 11.
That's right.
We have about 27 offices across the U.S., and our headquarters is here in New York City.
That's
on
right.
6th Avenue and 53rd.
Just a few blocks away. CohnReznick, an accounting firm, does all kinds of stuff. By the way, I want to disclose that I've done coaching, leadership and communication coaching for the firm for more than a couple of years.
Right. You've done a great job, too.
Thank you, Frank. One of the things I've picked up in coaching folks at the firm, over 10 years I think it's been, is how the industry itself has changed. The accounting industry, some of the biggest changes are?
Incredible time right now. You know, we are a industry going through disruption.
Disruption?
Disruption. There is a lot of people out there saying that Barry Melanson, who's the chairman of the AICPA, basically said that by 2020, 40% of all of the accounting tasks that we do today as CPAs will be eliminated through automation and robotics.
What does that mean for those doing those tasks? How do they have to evolve?
Yeah, what has to happen is what's happening across some of the bigger firms, Big Four, Big Eight, they're looking at hiring different skill sets. So they're not necessarily hiring. I heard one Big Four executive basically say they're going to hire 50% less accounting majors by 2020. And they're looking at hiring STEM majors, science, technology, engineering, math, data analytic majors. So there's a lot of change going on, but it's happening at the university and it's happening inside the firm. So you take a firm like ours, we've got to change the skill set of our people. We've got to teach them to be more trusted business advisors. Right. You've heard that in some of the training and coaching that you've done.
More analytical?
More analytical, it's going to be less mundane type work. You're going to see people that are going to have to, look at data and look at anomalies in that data and then figure out what does that mean and how do you go about, making recommendations either to change, to make the
as a
changes
trusted business advisor.
As a trusted business
so as you're
advisor.
talking about this, Frank, I'm thinking about people that, accountants or accounting. You're doing tax returns. Of course there are tax returns being done.
Right.
But that's a smaller and smaller piece of the accounting equation.
Yeah, so the other big trend you're seeing is that there's a big push right now within the larger accounting firms of advisory work. Okay,
advisory is consulting?
Advisory is tax consulting, technology consulting, transaction advisory, financial advisory, internal control work, revenue recognition. How do you recognize revenue? So it's really it's going to be digital work. How does companies become more digital in their approach? So there's a lot of different types of advisory that we're doing today around putting in new CRM systems. How do you analyze your marketing programs? How do you analyze your people? So there's a lot going on in the advisory space. And what's happening with CPA firms today is they realize that in the future, because of robotics, because of automation, there's going to be less of the what I would call the type of work that we did for a lot of years, right, where clients expected us to do a lot of the manual work, and even though we're using technology, we're still doing a lot of the analysis. A lot of that's going to be gone. Clients are going to do it themselves.
I want to talk about charity work in just a second. CohnReznick Cares, which is an initiative that I know very well, that is really important. But real quick, do the schools, the business schools that are training the future accountants, are they aware of everything you're just saying to the point where the curriculum's changing and evolving?
Yeah, great question, because we've actually been partnering with a major university here in New Jersey that's working with...
On the other side of the river.
Yeah, working with our folks and looking at our audit approach and helping us develop automation, helping us develop artificial intelligence, ways that we can start to take some of those tasks and automate them in the future. So yes, some of the schools are really buying into this. There's new majors out there called data scientists, where that the schools are trying to train people to be more interpreter of data as opposed to just, the way we've kind of always done it, which is kind of accumulate the data.
Status quo is not an option. We always say that.
Not an
option. Excuse me, CohnReznick Cares. Every year there's an incredible charity golf tournament that I'm honored to host on the back end, the dinner that's had. The dollars that are raised by CohnReznick Cares, which is the philanthropic arm of the company, Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation, our great
Correct.
friend Joe Torre. We are, by the way, there's CohnReznick Cares. We are big Yankee fans, as is our president, Neil Shapiro. But the other one is the Special Operations
Warrior Foundation.
That if you actually, ironically, you go to Yankee Stadium, you see the big sign. Tell everyone what that one is.
It's a great charity that we've been sponsoring for a number of years now. And what they do is basically any child whose parent was either killed in action or killed in training before going to action, they're going to provide an education, a 4-year education scholarship for that person. And they track that young person, because the person could be 15 years of age or 2 years of age. And they track them throughout their lifetime until that education takes place. It's a remarkable organization. Hal Steinbrenner from the Yankees is on their board, and actually one of our former partners, Michael Cohen, is on their board. And they do a great job.
And the other one, sorry for interrupting, Frank, the other one, check out the Joe Torre, the Safe at Home Foundation. And Joe's been with the firm and participated in events before. That is for women who are victims of domestic violence and their children, right?
Yes, and they basically work with, I think they've worked with over 12,000 over the last 3 years, students, helping them through domestic violence issues as well as sexual abuse issues. Joe and Allie Torre just do a wonderful
Joe's
job.
wife.
Yeah, Allie, Joe's wife. They just do a great job, and I'm proud to say I was invited to be on their board. And I'll be starting, this year.
Congratulations. By the way, real quick, we do a lot of work with Make-A-Wish. We celebrate them. We recognize them. They're one of the
another great organization through our social impact committees that we have throughout our offices. Many of our offices use Make-A-Wish as being a kind of a foundation charity that we go to.
Frank, let me ask you this before you let you out of here. You and I have had a lot of discussions about leadership, about communication. You're trained as an accountant growing up, go through school, you pass the exam, CPA exam. But what I'm fascinated by is when you become the CEO and you have to make these ridiculously difficult decisions, cutting budgets, dealing with, which is people, right? Well, there's a point to this question. What the heck ever prepared you to make those decisions impacting people's lives? That's not accounting training.
Right. You know, it's interesting because I ask myself that same question all the time. And, some of it is really the client training I had as I kind of grew up in public accounting, because I worked with clients on their own issues. So I saw what some of the families
they had to make the tough calls.
And owners and what the pain they had and how I counseled them. So that was really helpful. And then when I got involved with being, part after I had my own firm merging into J.H. Cohn, ultimately CohnReznick, just being on the board and serving under CEOs like a Tom Marino or a Ken Baggett that were our co-CEOs when we merged 5 years ago, being on the board for all those years, that helps as well. So, it's a little bit of osmosis. You kind of roll with the punches. I think the hardest part of the job is not what I know. It's the things I don't know. When you come in on a Monday morning, and your life's no different, the phone rings and there's a particular issue or, problem.
You plan for a different day, Frank.
Right, so you plan for
and there's a crisis that you're dealing with, and you got no choice.
No, but it's wonderful. I've got great people. I'm surrounded by great people and great advisors, and that makes my job a lot easier.
Well, again, I disclosed it before, and I'm proud to say I've been coaching folks for a long time in something called the Partner Academy. Folks are moving up, and there'll be new kinds of partners doing different kinds of things. Frank Longobardi is, in fact, the Chief Executive Officer of the 11th largest accounting firm in this nation. It is called CohnReznick. Thank you, my friend.
Steve, thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by NJIT, New Jersey Sharing Network, RWJ Barnabas Health, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the New Jersey Education Association, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.